Good morning, first graders. Today we are on page 245 of your student journal, and we are on Unit 11, Lesson 9. So we did skip Unit 11, Lesson 8, but there's two really good pages in that lesson that after the video I want you to look at. So I want you to look back at pages 242 and 243. Those two pages are going to give you a lot of examples and help you understand a little bit more about this idea that we're going to be doing today. So today our goal or our objective is, today I will compose a rectangle, square, and a trapezoid by combining different shapes. Okay, so there's a lot of words in there that let's talk about. The first word is, what does this mean, compose, when it says I will compose? Compose means to combine two or more shapes together to make another shape. So if you look at this picture, the big shape is a square. It's a four-sided, four vertices square. But how did they make this square? Well, they pushed a black triangle next to a white triangle, and together those two composed or made a square. So we can think of compose as making something. Okay, the next word that you see is orientation. Orientation is how I say that, and it's the position of a shape. So notice this square and this square are both the same. What they did is they just changed the position of it. It could also be, we're going to draw one. I could take a triangle that looks like that, and I could change that same triangle to a different position so it looks like that. So it's still the same triangle, I've just changed the position of it. Okay, then we see some special triangles. This triangle is a special triangle. It's called an equilateral. So equilateral triangle is all three sides are equal in length. So just like a square has four equal sides, an equilateral triangle has three equal sides. That's a special triangle because not all triangles have three equal sides, because we could draw this triangle. See how that has two long sides and a short side? We could also draw a triangle like this. So that has a short side, a medium side, and a longer side. So that's why this is a special triangle, because it's all three sides are equal. Then we have a word that says right triangle. A triangle with one 90-degree angle that creates an L shape on one side. Okay, so this is a very grown up. I used to teach this when I taught fifth graders. So a right triangle, what they mean when they say creates an L is, look right here. Do you see how there's a perfect L there? That's called a right triangle. Sometimes it might look different though. We could have turned it this way, and sometimes the L might be backwards. Sometimes the L might be backwards, but it's still a right triangle if you could draw an L. So I want you to think about that L with the right triangle. And then our last word says congruent. Congruent means the same size and same shape. So these would be congruent triangles if they were both the same size and the same shape. That's called congruent because they're the same size and same shape. This would not be congruent. And I'm going to draw this in a red pen, boys and girls, so you don't have to draw it. If I have a large one and a little one, even though they're the same shape, they're not the same size, so that's not congruent. Okay, so what are we going to do today, boys and girls? Well, I'm going to go back to, because we read a lot, I want to go back to what I'm actually going to do. Today I will compose or make a rectangle, square, and trapezoid by combining different shapes. Okay, so I'm going to put my book away and grab my first example to show you what this looks like. So it says they want me to compose or make a rectangle by combining two or more different shapes. So I need to make a rectangle. Well, I know what a rectangle looks like. It's a four-sided shape with two longer sides and two shorter sides. So I could draw maybe, what if I drew a square next to another square? Is that now a rectangle? Because I have my two long sides and two short sides. Yep. I could change the orientation. Remember, change the position. And I could draw it this way. What if I put a square on top of another square? Would that be a rectangle? Yes. So I put two shapes together. What if I decided to make a long right triangle? Here's my L. That's why it's a right triangle, because that L. And I put another right triangle on top of it with another L. Remember I said the L's could be backwards? Now I took two triangles and made one. And again, I could change the orientation, and I could have changed the position and made the triangles this direction. So that's a right one because that L, and I could put one down here. That would work. I could even, it says two or more, I could have even done little triangles like this and done maybe four of them, and that would make a rectangle. So there's lots of different ways I could have done that. Okay, let's look at my next one. My next one says compose or make a square by combining two or more shapes. So this time they want me to make a square. Well, I could take a triangle like that and another triangle and make a square. I could make a tall rectangle, touch another tall rectangle. I could make a long rectangle, touch another long rectangle. So those are some different ways that I could have looked at that. Okay, let's look at my next one. This one says, compose a trapezoid by combining two or more different shapes. Okay, so a trapezoid, I could make a square and then put a triangle on each side. I could also maybe make a rectangle with a triangle on each side. I could have even made maybe a upside down triangle with another triangle. I could have even made my square here of two triangles like that, and then added triangles to the side. So there's lots of different ways I could compose or make a trapezoid. Okay, so let's try some together, boys and girls. We are on page 246, and our first one together says, compose a rectangle by drawing two or more shapes. Show multiple ways. Okay, so they want us to do a rectangle, and then when it says show multiple ways, what they want us to do, like I did here, is I showed for my square, I showed 3 different ways to do it. That's what they mean by show multiple ways. So how could we make a rectangle? Could we put a square on top of a square? Or could we make a long triangle with another long triangle? That would work. There's even more ways that we could do it, okay? But we can make sure we just stop at 2. All right, compose a trapezoid by drawing 2 or more shapes. And I just did this one for you. So maybe we could do a square in the middle with 2 triangles on the side. Or we could have made like an upside down triangle with 2 triangles on the side. There's lots of different ways we could have done that, but we at least showed 2. Okay, so boys and girls, I had told you at the very beginning to look at page 242 and 243 to help you. Look at what's on page 242 and 243. They give you lots of ideas. So this one tells you on 242 different ways to make a rectangle. They also show you different ways to make a trapezoid. And on the back on page 243, they show us different ways to make a square. And then they also show us again different ways to make a trapezoid. Okay, so this could be a good resource for you to look at to help you. Because today what I want you to do now is, now that I did some with you, you have to do page 247 and 248. But you could use my examples that I did with you, or you could look at page 242 and 243 to help you. Okay, have a great day. Bye.